5, 4.
So the first thing I've done is find a suitable crate. This was full of old Lego, so I've decanted that somewhere else. And we've got ourselves something with which we can fill with water. And with something that we can build a set over, or model, I suppose. I found this L-shaped piece of wood from a previous project. And as you can see, when I kind of hold it over there, you probably can't see very well at that angle at the moment. You will be able to see where I'm going with this. I need to cut these offcuts of plywood to size, and they will form the kind of dockland part of the diorama. So that's my first job, is I'm going to measure all that to size. It's going to be supported with just some very simple stud work. Again, offcuts from something else. First things first, measuring and cutting all of the wood to the correct sizes. Then securing it all together, with the help of Dad, of course. You can see the shape of what we're trying to achieve really start to come together. So now that we've assembled the wooden structure, the next step is to start adding the detail. To do that, we've got some nice little craft foam sheets. They're not very thick, sort of 5mm. I'm going to take a soldering iron to these and I'm going to carve out a brick pattern. I had to cut the foam to size first and then perfect the technique, but I think we did all right. We cut some of the foam into strips and layered them up to form a staircase, and then glued them all together. All lent up in one ensemble, you can really see how it's coming together. Time for a splash of colour with some grey primer. So you can see here that our brick facade is drying. So whilst that's drying, I'm going to take our steps that we made earlier, and we're going to carve a little bit more detail and tidy them up before we paint these as well. Time to give the steps the painting treatment. And finally, we can now glue everything together, the sheets and the stairs. So as you can see, we've secured our brick facades to the wooden foundations. The next step is to take some more of our card and start layering it over the top. I've cut various little pieces to fit over the edges of this box, and then we can disguise that with rocks or sand. And now for one of the most fun parts, dry brushing and giving the bricks a nice weathered effect. It's definitely this that helps sell it all, as it did for the Century 21 team before me. Well, as you can see, it's starting to come together, even if I just kind of put Thunderbird 4 there as a bit of a test. And I think it looks all right. So by the time we add a little bit more backdrop stuff up here and a few more things to populate the top of the dock, I'm probably not going to stick with these white lines. I was just messing around, so we'll see how they turn out. But I think the other next step is to use some of these polystyrene sheets that I've got and take a soldering iron to them. This was just a bit of a practice, but in true Century 21 fashion, go to town on it with a soldering iron and start carving some nice little rocky outcrops as per my reference image. I'm going to do that on both sides so that when we get a nice big wide shot, it should look a little bit better, give us a little bit more space, a little bit more room in the shot. Polystyrene really is a miracle. This was used in all sorts of ways during the Supermarionation days, so it's nice to be using it now. I've carved 3 different layers of rocks here, and just a little one here just to fill in this gap. So the next step is to start painting these, and then figuring out where any other gaps might turn up. I went for a muddy look for the rocks. So now that it's outside, we've added a few extra stones from the garden. Thunderbird 2, of course, for scale, but we also found some extra stuff in the loft, which used to be part of a model railway. It was soon time for the moment of truth, but first I needed to cut a corner out of the box in order to give the camera a better view into the diorama. I coloured in some wooden blocks with the aim of disguising them, giving the illusion that Thunderbird 4 was floating unassisted. Then, the moment of truth, pouring in the water. With just normal water, I mixed in some blue Lucozade, other brands are available, and along with some black acrylic, we managed to create a fairly convincing oceanic look. Voila! Thunderbird 4 is go. Now, because it's a small set, the water would be a dead giveaway that this is all in miniature. So, utilising the techniques of the Supermarionation days, I filmed everything in slow motion, using my hand to disturb the water to create some little waves. Considering we're doing this on a shoestring, I don't think we achieved a bad result. I do hope you've enjoyed our little crack at a bit of Thunderbirds filmmaking. Obviously, it's not a patch on the original, but it is quite interesting to see Thunderbird 4 in an environment in which it could well be seen in. Don't forget, they are available on the Gerry Anderson store, so get yourself one before they sell out. And I'll see you back in the studio.